I'm Noel with Noel's Frags, and today I'm here with good news. Well, good news for me. More free shit! So, Dossier, the clone house that reached out to me a couple of months ago and sent me over some stuff I did a review on, well, they're doing like a Scorched Earth social media campaign, and it seems like anyone that talks about fragrances is getting some of their stuff. Well, good news for your boy. I talk about fragrances. So they sent me a few more, and it looks like I'm going to be getting a few, so I'll probably do like a little series on this. But I don't want to keep these. I want to give these away to my viewers. So when I do a giveaway on Instagram, I'll leave like my Instagram handle here. It's also at the beginning and the end of my videos. So yeah, go follow over there. I do some cool photo stuff. Yeah, check it out. It's worth looking into. And giveaways are just easier to do over there. So go check out my Instagram for when I do this. Not sure when it's gonna be. Just keep your eyes peeled. You'll see. If you want free stuff, go follow there. So I guess first up, let's do their iteration of this. So this is Musky Oakmoss. Can you take a guess what that is? Creed's Aventus. So I picked fragrances that I had and I wore frequently so I could give a good and accurate comparison. So the opening of Musky Oakmoss is a little different. It's closer to like a blend of Mont Blanc Explorer and Aventus. So it starts out a little pink peppery. My hand was almost off my head. I looked absurd. It starts off a little pink peppery and goes into a more familiar Aventus mid. And then in the dry down, you have the typical Aventus dry down, you know, your birch, your patchouli, and your musk, but it has a little bit of jasmine from the mid and it kind of stays all the way into the dry down. And that reminded me of something. So Atelier Cologne has a fragrance called Musc Imperial. And this is a little like leather thing that goes on it. But yeah, so that's, is that gonna show? Shing! Is it registering? Let's see, register. Yeah, so Musc Imperial. It's a solid fragrance, I enjoy it. It's like a lighter, slightly more floral Aventus with like fig in the open instead of like the citrus or the pineapple. So it's also a good fragrance. But this kind of reminds me of those three fragrances. So instead of it being like a one-to-one Aventus clone, which there isn't one, I've never come across a one-to-one Aventus clone. This is more of like Mont Blanc Explorer meets Aventus meets Musc Imperial, which all of those are very similar in, you know, certain points in the fragrance. But I'd say it's a pretty good clone. As far as like longevity, it's sticking right in there with actual Aventus. I sprayed it on my arm the other day, and so it was clone here, Aventus here, and whole day. So I could just get, you know, all right, you know, and get a good comparison through the whole thing. And it stayed a good 8.5 to 10 hours. So it was right in there with Aventus. I like this one. I have yet to come across a one-to-one Aventus clone. I don't think it exists. I haven't really come across a one-to-one anything clone. Everybody gets a little close. But I have tried several clones and I'd say this one is really good as far as matching like the texture of the fragrance, the longevity of the fragrance, and the key notes of the fragrance. So it's up there. These are like 50 bucks. This one in particular, and it is an eau de parfum / like eau de toilette concentration. Clones are a little steep these days. Like the heavy hitters, you know, Alexandria and Dua are really charging you over $1 per milliliter. This one comes out to $1 per milliliter. They're about the same price, except this is a 50 ml bottle and the others are 30. The other ones are higher concentration, but like I feel like that affects the scent because those are like oil-based fragrances, where this is like a diluted like a fragrance diluted with alcohol. So, I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up as to, you know, where you want to place your significance, your importance. But I think this one's close. So, well done, Dossier. If you're looking for an Aventus clone, I'd say this one's 80-85%, you know, close. And it has a very similar texture. So, you get the keynotes, you get a similar, like, scent texture in a sense of, like, it in the air. So, yeah. And then there's Woody Rum, which is their take on Killian's Straight to Heaven. Shing, shing. Awesome fragrance. I love busting this one out in these cooler months. So as you know, you go into fall and winter, I stay spraying this on. I have a backup bottle of this, and my buddy's been trying to get it from me. I'm just like, I can't, because I love it so much. So I did the same thing with this fragrance as I did with Aventus. I sprayed Straight to Heaven on one part of my arm, and then this on the other. And if you want to talk about longevity, that is something that the fragrance community, myself included, gripes about. Straight to Heaven has poor longevity. Like, even going a little heavy on the trigger, at best you're getting like 6 to 8 hours. And that's like really pumping it on. This did not have the longevity issues. Straight to Heaven was fading, while Woody Rum was still going at hour 6. That's pretty good. The similarity, though, I would say it's maybe 75 to 80. It departs a little bit because Straight to Heaven has a very dry aspect about it. Your keynotes there are your booziness, which is like a rum accord, nutmeg, and then the cedar. There's rumor of dried fruits. I don't quite get dried fruits. I can see what they're hinting at with that breakdown, but to me, those are the heavy hitters. There's like a dry rum. It's all dry. Like Straight to Heaven is very dry, whereas this has a little bit more sweetness to it. So that's kind of the difference in the open, is this has a little more sweetness. Not like a super sweet, and I wouldn't say it skews sweet on the spectrum, but by comparison to something as dry as Straight to Heaven, this has a little bit of sweetness to it. As it goes down in the mid, you know, you get that nutmeg really coming out to shine, and the cedar is always there. The cedar is ever present from the beginning of the fragrance to the end. So you get that. But as you make your way into the dry down, you still have that little bit of a sweetness, and then almost a touch of resinous smell, which is where it departs from Straight to Heaven, because I don't really get that in Straight to Heaven. Once again, these aren't huge things. It's not enough to derail the similarities or, you know, derail the fragrance. But those are the differences. And if you don't own Straight to Heaven and you don't wear these side by side, you probably won't be able to detect this stuff. And, you know, if you have a decant of Straight to Heaven, you're like, man, I like it, but, you know, $200 for a bottle of that, I can't really come off that. This is worth looking into. You'll notice the differences if you spray them on at the same time, but if you want that Straight to Heaven aura, that Straight to Heaven vibe, you can definitely achieve it going with Woody Rum from Dossier. So it's worth looking into. I think this is a little bit less than the Aventus clone, which is like $50. So under $50, it's a good clone. I haven't tried the clones from Alexandria and Dua, but I know they tend to get like a little syrupy. So as far as just straight up comparison to the original fragrance, this clone comes extremely close, I would say. So, have you succumbed to peer pressure yet? Have I or another social media influencer convinced you to buy Dossier? If so, let me know down in the comments which one you have, which ones you like, which ones you want to try. But they're a house worth checking out, in my opinion, if you want to, you know, venture into the clone territory. If not, that's cool. I'm not pumping it. They're not paying me to say this. They sent me this stuff. They asked me to review it. That's what I'm going to do. And ultimately, I'm going to give it away. So I'm not really doing it for me. I just want to smell stuff. So hope you guys don't think I'm selling out too much. If there's like a good check in the mail, you know, that's when we'll talk about sellout territory. I just want to inform people. If you enjoyed this video, throw me a like or subscribe to see more content. And as always, thank you so much for watching.